to the Zillow Player Spotlight, presented by Zillow. Sunday starts today. Balogun, 3 goals and an assist versus PSG in 4 games this season. Ricardo Pepi and Haji Wright keeping pace by scoring goals as well, Chuck. I mean, I love what's happening right now with our strikers.
Give it to me all day. I love when strikers are getting hot because they sense the World Cup is coming, soon approaching. And so when you have that motivation, Haji Wright's chasing promotion. He's thriving with Frank Lampard as his manager. So you can taste promotion and playing in the English Premier League, but also the World Cup is right there in front of you. So you feel everyone's moving in that direction. And Balogun, you're talking about playing PSG in Champions League and Liga. I've really been impressed with his movement, but now his body shape, his the way he's able to hold up the ball, his finishing, as good as it's been, he can still be better. There are chances where he misses or he doesn't take the half chance the way that I would have expected him to. But at the end of the day, you can see that he's growing in confidence. So I'm thrilled. Let's go. The striking options are all taking on the challenge. So it's a good day for U.S. men's national team fans to see not only Balogun and Pepi and Haji Wright, but also Ajiman putting pressure because he wants to be in that conversation. So the players are doing their thing.
So let's tie back into the fun conversation we had in the first segment then, Tones. Let's say Christian was hurt. I'm not trying to put that out there in the universe, but let's just say hypothetically Christian's hurt. Would you consider, given how well our strikers are doing and how hot they are, if they continue this form going into the World Cup and maybe play well in these friendlies, which is what we hope, would you consider a world where maybe we go with 2 strikers and just have 110? And what do you find a universe? Let's pretend Chuck's not shaking his head. Just you and me, Tones.
I didn't see Chuck. I was looking at stats, but my answer is no. I don't see a world. Were you saying no?
Yeah, I said
okay.
It's not even no, it's a hell no. We're not playing with 2 strikers.
Yeah, I don't see a world, especially at this time. Like if Mauricio Pochettino came in November of 24, if he came in and went to a 2-striker system, and we've been working on it for a while, and we had some wrinkles off of it. Look, think about what was it, Gold Cup, right? We went to 2 strikers a couple times. Who was it? Was it Downs that came in a couple times, if I remember correctly? We looked like we had no idea what we were doing. I mean, we did. We just looked like we looked lost, like guys stepping on each other's toes. Playing with 2 strikers these days requires a lot of work because just think, every kid in America, I should say America, every kid around the world for the most part is growing up playing with a 1-striker system, right? Whether it's a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 or some version of it. That's why when we look at like Inter, we talk so much about the fact that they play with a 3-5-2, right? Like teams like that there's not very many in the world that do it. They do it in survival mode at the end, but it's something they work on, different profile. It just doesn't seem to work for some teams. So that was my long-winded way to say no, Jimmy.
No. We have a show for a reason. We are expected to be long-winded, and I appreciate your insight. I guess we talked about this before. The best teams in the world can be fluid and flexible, right? Based on the situation. Obviously, as you mentioned, if we're down a goal late, you're going to throw on a couple big bodies to try to get on. There's a world where we could see 2 strikers. But in that moment, the other team most likely will be sitting in a low block, so we could take that risk, right? It invites us to throw on another body. However, I guess if what we need, and now we're kind of getting into coaching speak, Chuck, is if you have a number 9 that's looking to drop in to come get the ball and hold it up for us, you still need someone in advance of him to make sure that the back line is not being able to creep and close the space. There always needs to be a threat in behind. So in some ways, even if we have inverted wingers or just regular wingers or whatever it is, they need to, if the 9 comes back, then we need a 10 or a winger to get in advance of it, right? Because you have to keep the other back line honest. So in some ways, you kind of are always kind of playing with quote unquote 2 strikers. It's just not 2 guys that we designate Pepi and Balogun or Ajiman, or you know what I mean? So
well, it's all about the structure of the team. So whether you're in the attacking phase of play or defensive phase of play, I love P. Morton's comment here. The last time we had a legit 2-striker setup was Charlie and Josie. And the reason why that works so well is because when we were in the attacking phase of play, I would typically be the one stretching. So I would be
You're
making
running
the
the
runs
channels.
off this, right?
Yeah.
Run the
Two
channels.
different profiles. Yeah.
And Josie was the central, although Josie could do it too, but he was primarily central, hold up the ball. He could flick it down, he could keep it. And then you had both Landon and Clint. Clint typically coming more inside, and Landon obviously could make those runs in behind the space. If I took a center back out of the channel, the other one followed Josie. Landon was that one who could make that run in behind. So it worked so well because defensively now we were in that 4-4-2. Josie and I would drop and take out those central midfielders, whoever was always trying to come and get on the ball. Josie and I would rotate, and we could close that down, which then forced their center backs to make the game, which opened them up for the counter. And we would just crush teams on the counter. Then they want to drop back. Then we had more time to play. So Landon and Clint were both comfortable coming inside. So Clint more so than Landon coming inside and being that third player in the midfield. So it worked out. If you don't have players who can cover that much ground and are comfortable on the ball, then you have to adjust. And I think the game overall has just adjusted quite a bit. So a lot of teams are really packing the center of the park. Therefore, you have to adjust and add different numbers.
Yeah, no, I like that breakdown a lot, and that's a good comment from
Jimmy. It's
Peter.
so sorry. It's so weird, right? Because you ask a team at the end of a game, if you didn't practice it at all, if you didn't train it at all, and then you ask a team to go to 2 forwards, it's tough, right? But you ask a team to go to 3,
right? You're like
right,
standing right,
but,
like, wait, I'm standing here. Are you standing here? Who's standing where?
Right. Because where do forwards want to go? They want to go towards the goal
central,
all the time, right? So you want, but if you ask a team just on a whim, hey, we got to go to 3 center backs in the last 10 minutes of the game, it seems easier, right? Even if you didn't work on it, just seems easier to put 3 center backs in because now you're covering less space and you know the area of the field you want to be in, and you're not ever forwards have to cross each other at the right time. Center backs, if you're crossing each other, you're in trouble, right? You're
I feel like center backs are taking us astray here, but not being very smart.
No. There's still so much work to do.
Guys,
me defender.
Me defend.
Me bang ball.
Me defend ball. This area.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah,
it's weird. But yeah, what a great conversation to have about the tactical part of the game. And it's so much easier to defend because you'll see every week teams who play with 1 forward. Once a team starts building out, generally you're defending with 2 forwards, right? And then from there, everyone else fills in behind. But it's amazing how hard it's become to go look at lineups on whatever site you look at lineups and tell me like the percentage of lineups that you see that have just 2 forwards, right? It's difficult.
Yeah,
Milan said they did it this week. This weekend with Leao and Pulisic.
Yeah.
Like, who is the target? Neither of them.
Right.
You're right. They both just went, you know. I said Inter Milan before. That's the example I gave before because you have 2 different profiles. You have one target and you have one guy who plays underneath a little bit and can go side to side and do those things. But you have to have those profile of players.
Like if you had Harry Kane in your team and you had Erling Haaland in your team, you are either playing a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, right? Let's say it's an Mbappe and Haaland. You're playing with 2 strikers, because Kylian Mbappe is not going to defend, so you adjust. But more so,
he'll roam a little bit.
Right.
Mbappe will go find the game. Yeah,
but Harry Kane and Erling Haaland is a perfect example. If they're playing on the same team, you're playing with a natural 2 striker system. You are incorporating your tactics, knowing that those are your 2 strikers.